When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Where is Daredevil?
I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
We're gonna take this city back.
Over medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, this is a hypnosis session about the psychological strength and resilience, the mindset required to come back from an injury. And I was working with a very talented and ambitious young client who really wanted to make it big in college football, American football. But they had a brutal injury and they were in the rehabilitation phase, but they knew that things like scholarships were dependent on them doing well in the next season. And therefore, they couldn't afford to be tentative and hold back during this process. So they wanted a really strong mindset connected to this idea that they can recover quickly, they can do the training, they have that mental strength. They don't need to kind of limit themselves or be worried about injuries, that they could take on the role models of people from the past that had come back stronger after injuries and had that mental strength. But also the idea that study is also important, that these scholarships required certain averages in their grades as well as performance on the field, and it uses levels of disassociation. One of the key recruitment techniques is the showreel video. So they imagine seeing their performances, seeing their training, and even seeing their future on a screen. And this particular client would see their video on a laptop, a MacBook, and they would look at that on the screen. So we use that integrated within this. And I filmed this when I was out in Dubai, so I don't have my normal microphone. But at its core, it's quite a thorough session that is useful, broadly speaking, for people coming back after injury. It's a rehabilitation session. Now, everything I do is bespoke to the clients that I work with. This was American football. It was a particular type of injury based around the knee and the legs. What they needed to do and their motives were getting into a college and getting a scholarship and eating more protein. That might not be your goals. So if you like the idea of something created for you and bespoke and customized, have a look in the description, the show notes for this episode, and you'll see various ways of working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, Breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And as your eyes close, that's it. Just release any tension in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Breathing in that feeling of calm relaxation. And as you exhale, just allowing any feelings of tension, any stress, any worries to leave your body in your outward breath. That's it. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. That's it. As your body relaxes, your imagination can awaken. But for now, just begin by bringing your attention into your body. Not to fully relax it, but just to feel it more clearly. I want you to start with your feet. Maybe you can notice your feet making contact with the ground. And then focus your attention on your legs. And maybe you could imagine muscle fibers, the structure of your skeleton, the stability that's already there. And then just bring your awareness into your knees. Not analyzing, just noticing. And I want you to get a sense, a feeling of gratitude or perspective, that these knees have recovered and are recovering. They are adapted and adapting, rebuilt and rebuilding. As you connect with the idea that your body doesn't go backwards, breathing in relaxation, exhaling tension, and accepting that your body learns, it strengthens, and it improves. And the more you notice that, the more a quiet confidence begins to build. And I want you to think of a time when you were stepping onto the field. Not a future game, and it doesn't even have to be a past game, just the feeling of stepping out onto the field. The sounds, the space, the sense of focus. And maybe you can notice how your attention naturally narrows. That when it's time to play, there's less thinking and more reacting. Almost like your body knows what to do. Like everything slows down just enough for you to read, respond, act, and decide. And I want you to think when you were in that state, the best that it's ever been. Maybe we can call it a performance state, a flow state. Maybe you can remember where you were and what you were doing at that point in time, where you had all of the resources you needed. It just seemed to flow. And the more you think about that state, the more you realize that your mind already knows how to access it. And I want you to imagine somewhere just off that field is a small room. Maybe a room that doesn't exist, but it does in your imagination. And I want you to imagine walking into that room and seeing a MacBook there on a table. And I want you to imagine opening the MacBook, and it's either your password or your fingerprint that opens it. And I want you to imagine you're seeing a video on that screen. You know it's not reality. You know it's just a recording. And on that screen, I want you to see a recording of the injury. Maybe you're seeing the drill, the exercise, but you're seeing it like a camera recorded it. You're not in your body. And I want you to imagine that you could change things on this screen. I want you to imagine turning it from color into black and white. And just notice how that turns down the intensity. You can observe what happened without needing to experience what happened. I want you to imagine then shrinking it down, making it small. It's a struggle to even see what was happening. But I want you to get a sense that it is now small, distant, black and white. And you can extract all the wisdom from that injury. All of the things you would do differently in preparation, in the actual event itself, and in the days and weeks that followed. And I want you to get a sense that this is all your mind needs to know about that injury. No need to replay it. No need to be back in your body. Just knowing the memory is there is enough to extract all the value, and that's enough. And as you watch it, you can rewind, play it forward. You notice that perhaps when you fell, maybe on that left side, that moment is over. It was in the past, finished, complete. No need to go back to that memory anymore. And what remains is not danger. What remains is information, experience, and growth. And as you stare at that image from the past, you realize most players never have to rebuild. And that means they never develop what you now have. They say that every cloud has a silver lining. And I want you to focus on the silver lining, all of the unexpected benefits or advantages to that injury. I wonder if you have more awareness, more discipline, more resilience, more knowledge, perhaps more mental fortitude, and just allow your brain to go on a mission to extract all of the benefits that came from something undesirable. You didn't want the injury. You don't want any more injuries like it. But that doesn't mean it didn't give you something valuable. So give yourself permission to extract the value. And perhaps coming to a conclusion that you didn't just recover. You became harder to break. And I wonder whether it will be minutes, hours, days, or weeks where you can reach a point of gratitude that you had the opportunity to make a comeback and come back stronger than you were before. And as you hold that thought, I want you to imagine seeing on screen a bright, colourful image of someone that you know or know of who came back stronger. Maybe it's someone that you play with, or maybe it's someone that was playing before you were born, or maybe it's someone that's playing now in the NFL. I want you to imagine seeing a montage, a short film of them before, them getting injured, them rehabilitating and then coming back stronger. I want you to see how they moved. See how they were able to trust their body. And when you've got a clear idea and you can see them on screen after their recovery, when they did indeed come back stronger, I want you to imagine seeing them at a level that they could never have been before the injury. And when you can see that version of them on the screen, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then imagine stepping into the screen, and then beyond the screen into their body. I want you to imagine seeing through their eyes. But more importantly, I want you to connect with feeling that certainty. A sense of what it would be to feel that you're stronger because you experienced the injury and recovered from it. And I want you to imagine perhaps feeling that feeling in your body, and imagine yourself on that field, but in your position, and just feeling that sense of invincibility, a wonderful feeling of feeling unbreakable, that you've came back stronger. And I wonder if you can dial up self-trust, the ability to trust your body, trust your knees, trust your tendons, trust your muscles, with an idea that recovery and strength requires the right ingredients. And as you appreciate your body's ability to rebuild, adapt, and come back stronger, I want you to feel a desire to make your body, to give it the right fuel to come back stronger. And I wonder if you can connect to an idea that there's a difference between trying to play well and being the kind of player who makes the big plays. And from now on, I wonder if there is an identity that begins to form. An identity of being an unbreakable playmaker. If the idea of being unbreakable is willing to be accepted by your unconscious mind, let me know by nodding your head. And it's the idea of that. Unbreakable is an identity. Bones may break and bones may heal, but feeling unbreakable gives you an edge. A Viking mentality, fearless, no matter what and who is in front. But not just strength, power, resilience. I want you to embrace the creativity of a playmaker. The person who sees the opportunity, sees the possibilities, looking for that window of opportunity in which to make something happen. Not waiting, not hesitating, and certainly not holding back. I want you to connect to that identity, the unbreakable playmaker that reads, reacts, commits. Because the playmakers don't think about the outcomes. They trust their training, their intuition, and their ability to know that where they focus on increases the probability of those self-fulfilling prophecies believing it can happen activates the resources to make it happen. And if that feeling ever shows up, that feeling of trepidation, anxiety, a feeling of fear, I wonder if you can recognize it differently now. No longer as fear, but as readiness. Your body preparing you to move faster, react sharper. So instead of pulling back, you lean in. Because those same hormones linked to anxiety, adrenaline and cortisol, actually are the very same hormones that give you the ability to have an edge when playing. Consider adrenaline, the ability to continue playing through pain, to be more alert, to think 2 moves ahead. And the cortisol is just alertness. Consider it a win-win if you feel relaxed, you're in the flow state. And if you feel that surge of alertness, then you're in the alert state. And trust that your body will utilize whatever state you're in to make the most of the resources that exist in that state. I want you to imagine drifting back into that room, seeing the laptop. And now imagine the next game. Not a practice game, the next major game. A key moment. Maybe you can imagine a play unfolding and observe yourself without hesitation, moving instinctively, decisively. And maybe it's a big tackle, an interception. Maybe it's something where you even surprise yourself. And as you see yourself on the screen, making those plays, I want you to get a sense that you are creating in advance the very plays that will end up in your showreel. I want you to create an idea. You're not waiting for the right opportunity. You are making the right opportunity. And I want you to see how natural that looks on that version of you, not holding back. See you more intense. See you more committed. And then repeat. Almost flicking to the 3, 4, 5, 6 moments in the game which are all about you. And then another moment. And then another. Each one building your highlight reel. And just as you're watching, I want you to imagine coaches are watching, scouts are watching, seeing you act with impact, not hesitation. And that's what stands out. There is an invincibility, an unbreakable resilience in that version of you, in your very next game. And as you think about the season, you realize there's only a limited number of games, and within each game, only a limited number of opportunities. And each one matters. Not in a stressful way, but in a focused way. I want you to realize that you're not here to play safe. You're here to make it count. And alongside all of this, there's a deeper sense of trust. that when you prepare fully, you can let go and play freely, doing your part and trusting the rest. And whether you think of it in terms of faith, God, your unconscious or your intuition, you realize that something has your back, and that when you fully commit, you open up the resources required to turn a thought into an action into a result. But before you leave that screen, I want you to also see how you study in the classroom, see how you study after school. I want you to see the same level of dedication on the field, off the field. And in the same way that you can imagine your next game, I want you to imagine taking exams and tests and seeing that same resilience, same mental fortitude, same level of self-belief and fully committing. And I want you to get a sense that this creates balance. Intellectual effort complements physical effort, and physical effort complements intellectual effort. The stronger you get in one, the more you unlock resources into the other. What fuels your body is protein, and what fuels your mind is learning. A cycle that feeds off each other to make you stronger, smarter, bigger, and ready for any challenge that you face. And I want you to imagine at the end of the season, and I want you to imagine seeing, no longer on a laptop, now I want you to imagine on a big cinema-sized screen. See yourself with your highlight reel, play after play, tackle after tackle, interception, perhaps something rare, unusual, impressive. See how many people you've inspired on the way, but see that you're also impressing those that make decisions on places, highly coveted places that many people are competing for. And if you can get a sense of what that future film, that showreel will look like, the version of you that is invincible, unbreakable, resilient, strong, focused, determined, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to fully embrace that identity, that you are unbreakable, but you are the playmaker. I want you to get a sense that there will be opportunities only you can see, and you are unleashing the desire to take them. And as you hold that thought, I want you to go back to one moment. Go back to the moment immediately after your injury. Maybe you're in a clinic or hospital, recovering somewhere. And I want you to tell that version of you that was injured, this is not the breaking of them, it's the making of them. I want you to give them the resources you now have back then in that moment, so they extract all the value from the injury and fuel it into a defiant, unbreakable resilience. It's time to leave this place in your imagination, but taking all these resources with you, a willingness to go all in, avoiding any future regrets of wondering, what if I could have done more? I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.